Hi there! Back again with some more Minecraft today, and well, we have been doing some work here, but there's still a lot to do, so we should continue that. I have also been continuing my vocal training, both the training and the exercises, the daily exercises. So you might notice differences in my voice, although the exercise for this week I have only really done yesterday so far. I haven't had time to do them today, so they haven't really stuck yet, but I hope they will, but we'll get into that in a little bit. First, let's get started on the work, and while we're doing that, we're going to be talking a little bit about what has happened over the past week here, because the past week has been quite special for my family, and especially for me and my parents, because this weekend here, Saturday, was my parents' gold wedding. If you're not familiar with what a gold wedding is, it is when you have been married for 50 years. Then you will have basically a wedding party. It's not like a normal wedding, but you still do the wedding waltz and all that kind of stuff. But you have that, and well, my parents have decided to make it a big thing, as you should, and therefore they had pretty much rented an entire tavern for the family to stay at for the weekend. So we went there on on Saturday. I was picked up by car at like 1:30 p.m. So, but I have to admit, I wasn't so keen on going at the time, because it's a lot of people and it's a lot of noise, and I'm not good with either, even though it's family. It's gonna help that it is family, of course, but even with that, it's still difficult, and I'd actually rather just curl up and hide away. But this is my parents' gold wedding. I'll be damned if I'm not there. So I went, and well, because I was going alone, Kitty was supposed to come visit for this week, but he couldn't. So in the end, I ended up going alone. So a little bit sad, but that's how things are. But I felt like I probably needed a bit of comfort for this weekend, so I actually decided to bring my big wolf plush with me, my plushie, who has been keeping me company at night here for the past week or so. And that was quite nice, but I mean, you see a grown woman walking around with a big wolf plushie and you're gonna get some comments, and true enough, I certainly did. But it's okay, I understand it. Not everybody's a plushie person, but I do love my plushies. I have quite a few. In fact, I have like a huge bag of them up in the attic, and then I have an entire table here in my room that are just dedicated to plushies. And then I have multiple in my bed as well. So yeah, but yeah, I brought him with me, and well, for the whole thing here, we had what is it called? Like we started out getting there. We got there, like we left about 1:30, and we got there close to the time when it was supposed to basically start. And it started out with coffee. Good thing to start anything with, if you ask me. Or end anything. Or basically anything. But we started out with coffee, and then like from there we went on. There was a little bit of a break afterwards. So coffee and cakes and then a break, and then after something like 2 hours, I think, maybe 1.5, it was time for dinner. And in the meantime there I took care of my daily exercises so that they were basically done, so I didn't have to worry about those, and then returned to the others afterwards. And well, after that there was the dinner. Bunch of stuff. I kind of wish I had basically made the decision on the whole vegetarian front beforehand, because then I could probably have changed the menu, but oh well. It was still nice, even though it was meat, but yeah, that's me being weird again. So after dinner, well, there was a bit of a break again. We had a transvestite comedian show up who started doing jokes and all kind of stuff, and I have to admit, for me it was quite awkward, because I don't know if a lot of transgender people have it the same way, but like at the moment there's kind of a controversial thing going on where you have straight hetero men playing transgender characters in movies and stuff, and the problem there is that people watching are thinking that transgender people are just people playing a role, and that is wrong, and it's going to get people killed or get people to kill themselves. So that's a horrible thing, and it's kind of a little bit of the same thing with a transvestite like this, especially one that does comedy with it, because that is just playing a role. So for someone that is actually living with that, that's quite uncomfortable, and I wouldn't have been able to participate in it. Luckily I wasn't pulled up, and I'm very, very happy about that, because if I had been, there would have been a scene, and I would rather not make a scene at my parents' gold wedding. That would not have been nice. So yeah, I'm glad that I got away from that, basically. So yeah, it wasn't so fun for me, but the others seem to enjoy it, so I'm happy about that. Then after that there was basically going to be coffee again, and rather than have coffee as I usually would, I went outside with my cousin, because he basically asked me out there, and then we stood out there talking basically about things that was troubling me and life in general and that sort of stuff, and I updated him a little bit about all the troubles that I was facing right now. Of course, he's so supportive and telling me that if I ever need to talk, I can always come and ask. He's a really good guy, and yeah, I like him, but I like a lot of people in my family. A lot is probably too small of a word, but I like basically my entire family, even the people that don't like me, but luckily there's not too many of those. So we stood out there talking for a while, and then afterwards we went inside, and we basically went over to his girlfriend and my other cousin, his sister, and we had a beer, and I probably shouldn't, because I don't really drink a whole lot of alcohol anymore, but I got a beer and it hit me rather hard, so was tweeting afterwards about not being able to feel my teeth and that my face was numb from one beer. Granted, it was a decently sized beer, but still, it's definitely something that would have, definitely not something that would have made me tipsy before, but well, it does now. So yeah, after that, well, the evening continued and passed, and we basically just hung out for some hours, and then, like, as it was getting around 1 o'clock, I was getting pretty tired, so I actually decided at that point that I was going to go to bed. The only problem was, the moment that I decided that, my parents went dancing. And I kinda can't go to bed without saying goodnight to my parents because it's their party. So I sort of had to sit around and wait for them to finish. And finally, like, took the chance and was about to get up. And right when I was about to get up, it was like close to 2. Then my cousin suddenly walks up to me and grabs me by the arm and hauls me onto the dance floor, because now we're gonna dance. I was not prepared for that. Little known detail, I have only danced literally 2 times in my life, and both those times were as the wrong gender, so not something I felt remotely comfortable with. So I kind of felt like an elephant on the dance floor. It was a little weird, but it was still fun. I just wish that I didn't look like an idiot doing it, but c'est la vie. And then, well, afterwards I thought that I was going to get away, but right as I was about to walk off the dance floor, my dad grabbed me by the arm, and, or rather the shoulder. And then, all of a sudden, I was slow dancing with my dad. So yeah, all in all, a little bit of a strange evening, but it actually turned out alright. So I'm happy about that. What I'm especially happy for is that my parents got the party that they deserve, because they have done so much for me, and they're just great people, so they really deserve to have the party that they dreamt of, to celebrate their 50 years together. Think about it, 50 years together in marriage. That's not just loyalty, that is love. And I mean, they're not just keeping themselves together, they're keeping the whole family together. They're basically the reason why the family is so close together, because they invite people for parties and that sort of thing, and make sure that there's things going on. Like, we have different parties that are going on every year, and yeah, it's just nice. So yeah, well, after dancing with my dad, I went back to my room, and from there I sat and looked at my phone for a little bit, and then I went to bed. Woke up the next morning, and then there was breakfast, and then we basically, after breakfast, collected ourselves and then went back home. The weekend was over, or at least the gold wedding part of the weekend was over. And then Monday afterwards, well, there was the vocal training going on as usual on Mondays. However, there's going to be a little bit of a change, because next Monday we're actually not going to have vocal training, because the trainer that I have, she won't be around for that Monday, so we're basically going to push it 1 week, so I'll have 2 weeks for this training, which is not necessarily bad. Oh, a little bit of redstone, I was about to say. Netherrack. So yeah, but also this lesson was a little different to the others, because this is the first time ever that I've gone to the training. I mean, this is the fourth time I've been there, but this is the first time ever that I've gone to the training and not ended up with a longer exercise afterwards, because this one didn't add more to it. It just changed some parts of the exercises I was already doing. Basically, it changed some parts of the vocalization and the pitch exercises that I'm already doing. And basically what it changed was that I need to sort of emulate an American woman. That's basically what I'm trying to do here. Basically what I'm trying to do, or what I'm supposed to do, well, first of all, we're adding more volume to it. So when I'm doing my vowels, for instance, I put in more strength to them. And that also helps them to become more clear and stuff, so that's good. But on top of that, we also have the tone, I guess. And the way she described it was basically you have to talk more through your nose compared to what you usually do. And then like basically what you need to do is you need to try to strain your throat. Like you have sort of, it kind of looks like a tongue in shape, but it's, I don't know if it's some muscle or just like flesh or whatever, but you have this weird thing that looks kind of like a tongue at the back of your, like at the entrance to your throat. And you need to sort of push that up, and I haven't quite figured that out quite yet. It's kind of awkward to do. It kind of feels like you're being choked after having done it for a little while. So positive thing is that I no longer feel like I'm being kicked in the chest or punched in the throat. Now I just feel like I'm being choked all the time. Yay! Big improvement. So yeah, but you need to sort of push that up, and then on top of that you need to like pull your tongue up, form a bridge with it. If you imagine like bridging your tongue so that you have the center of the tongue pushed upwards and the rest, like back and the front of course, down, and then you take the sides of your tongue and press those to the inner sides of your teeth in the upper mouth, so that your tongue basically fills a lot of room in your mouth, because the way that you like speak more feminine is to have basically less space available. And the reason behind that is males basically has more space by default, so as a trans woman, well, you need to remove some of that space. You can do that with your tongue. And then on top of that, you try to articulate your words with your tongue, and also kind of do a little bit more with your lips to get it to work. Oh, there's a pyro going on AFK, or at least being around for a second. So yeah, it's a lot of work with articulation and focus and that sort of stuff. And then also you need to talk more through your nose, and the way that it was presented is basically, if you've ever seen Singing in the Rain, there is a scene called Diction, and if you look that up on YouTube, you will find it very easily. But basically what it is an American woman who is being taught by, I think it is a British woman, but I'm not entirely certain. It could also just be an American woman with proper language. Not that Americans don't have proper language, but it is kind of a little bit of a lazy language. I'm saying that as a Dane, like, Copenhagen Danish is like notoriously lazy. Yeah. Let's just take you down before we forget you. So yeah. So look up that scene and you will see it, and she like, I can't stand him. And she's doing like very, very nasally, but you don't do it as bad, but it's still a good exercise to try and emulate it. But like when you're speaking normally, you probably wouldn't do it that extreme. So yeah. But can we do? No, we'll do that. So yeah, that's basically it. Those two exercises are changed to accumulate, like to basically use those small alterations and try to focus on that. And then that's basically it for the vocal training for this week, and it's going to be 2 weeks of training with that before we get to anything else. So yeah, time to practice, which is good because it's bloody hard to talk with that voice. It's a lot of straining in so many places all at once and a lot of focus, and yeah, it's difficult. But I hope to get it down. Try to get it a little bit more natural, that would be nice. Okay, let's see here. I think we'll still stay up here, and if anything down there despawns, so be it. I have so much spruce wood that I can afford to lose a little bit of it. So yeah, that was the vocal training. And now we then move on to the rest of the week, which actually starts before the start of this episode, because that starts on Friday. Because on Friday I got my new tablet, but because of the gold wedding I didn't have time to actually try it out on Friday, which was a little bit of a bother. But oh well. So yeah, I had to basically wait until I got home from the gold wedding and could sit down at home and like on Sunday and continue on the drawing that I had started before, which is actually started last Monday. It's Tuesday today, so Monday last week, before last week's episode was actually recorded. And basically I finished that picture. And yeah, I started it Monday, and the reason I didn't finish was because my tablet broke, or rather I broke my tablet. It has been frustrating me for a while. Not really frustrating, but annoying me, because it would like ghost click all the damn time, and it would like lock itself up so that I would have to like shake the pen and all kind of stuff to make it work again. It was really annoying. So yeah, that was just a bother really to work with, and finally I just said, okay, if you're not going to work any other way, then I'm going to try brute force. So I kind of tried tossing the pen through the apartment and into a wall. And as it turns out, that doesn't really help either, so my pen broke and I had to buy a new tablet. But hey, I needed a new tablet anyway, so not too bad. But like, it wasn't even out of anger or frustration, it was just, well, if nothing else worked, I might as well try this, I need a new one anyway. Might seem weird, but yeah, I am weird. So yeah, I broke the tablet, but managed to sit down and draw on Sunday and finish the picture that I had been working on, which I was quite happy for. And what is that picture? Well, it comes down to a little bit of a thought. Would you believe me if I told you that I am not an organ donor at the moment? Like everything tells me that I should be. Like every good human should be, I think. But the problem is, if I become an organ donor right now, I'm actually afraid that that will cause me to... Well, there's no easy way of saying it, but that it will basically cause me to end up killing myself. Because all of a sudden I'm putting more value on my own death than I am on my life. So I have to admit I'm actually scared to put myself in for organ donation. But once everything is settled out, then I plan to do it. Just right now I just can't. If I die, then it is who I leave behind that can decide. But I will not make the choice now myself, because if I do, then my death gets value, and it is it's tough enough already without having that looming over my head as well. So I'd rather not think about that. But yeah, so the whole topic of it, well, is related to this. It is suicide. A tough topic, I think. And basically, I am a strong believer that no matter how hard, everything gets, death or suicide is never the answer. It must never, ever be the answer. It can't be the answer. So, yeah, on top of that, I believe that if you are willing to work for it, no matter how bad it is right now, eventually things will get better. And it's something that is hard to believe in at times, but I have to believe in it, because if I don't believe in it, then I'm not sure I would still be here. Therefore it's also difficult when other people don't believe in it, because that makes me doubt. So what I wanted to do is basically, I wanted to make something to bring a little bit of positivity and remind others of this, that like everyone, my friends, my loved ones, just hold on, and if need be, every day just look for that little one thing, the thing that will basically make you go on for one more day, just one more day, and cling on to that, get you through the day, and then tomorrow do it again. Keep on trying, because eventually it will get better. I have to believe in that. I mean, I have friends and loved ones that struggle with thoughts of suicide. I actually think I even have a friend, or I guess had a friend, who did commit suicide. I don't know. One day she just suddenly disappeared, and then a tweet showed up, which was apparently from her family, which sounded very much like she was no longer going to be around. I'm sad about that. So I made a drawing, and I'm gonna put it in the video here again, and it's basically embodying this idea of finding this one thing. You see, my character, well, it's telling a truth about myself that I often hide, but I have been close many times, and it has been difficult. But so far I've managed to fight it off with basically because I have others around me, my family. If I didn't have my family, I don't know what would happen. But you see my character standing there on a bridge in the middle of the night, looking down towards the rushing waters below, clearly contemplating something, about to take a step over the edge, or at least reaching over the edge, maybe to try it out, when suddenly a glow of light hits the first rays of the morning sun, looking up, and there you see it, the sun rising over the water, a tear coming to the eye, and you think, just one more day, just one more. It's a tough subject, but it's an important one, and I feel the least that I can do is try to give something. Like, if someone can look at this and that'll help them to get the strength to stand one more day, then I will be happy for that. If others just look at it and think, well, that's it then, but I hope that someone will find help in it. Let it be a reminder. But yeah, sitting here getting tears in my eyes now. Well, it's been a few episodes since I cried on camera. Laughing at myself. It's so easy to cry these days. But as long as it's good tears, then it's not so bad. But I think we're going to call it off for this episode here. I'm going to continue work here, and then next time we'll probably be doing more of this, but because it does take a long time to do. So yeah, sorry for the content of the episodes being a little samey. Other than my talks, of course, I have different topics every time, but sorry for the content itself being a lot of the same, but that's the thing you get when you do a big build, and I wanted to do a big build for once, so yeah, I hope that that's okay. But for now, let's call off the episode, and I will see you again next week. I hope that you enjoyed it, and you have a lovely day. See you again next time, everybody. Bye!